I felt up my friend in my sleep. My wife won't talk to me. We have a 29 male OP, 27 female friend, 28 female wife. Original post October 7th, 2014. Some backstory. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I am having sex with my wife. I don't remember the foreplay. I don't remember getting hard. I don't remember getting on top of her, but I wake up and I'm mid-thrust inside of her. She tells me that I am the one that initiates it and that I get super sensual with my touching, but I have no memory of it ever happening until I wake up and I'm inside her. What is it called again, guys? Sleepsomnia? We learned about this in a previous video. Cut to this weekend. I'm on a camping trip with some friends, 2 guys and a girl. My wife does not like camping, so she did not go. The girl is a platonic friend. I can't stress that enough. I have zero attraction to her. We all shared a tent because that's what you do when you camp. And the sleeping arrangement was friend 1, friend 2, me, and Taylor, we'll call her. I have camped with them all on numerous occasions in the same sleeping arrangement, and nothing has ever happened before. We all had been drinking around the campfire and eventually went to bed. I woke up in the middle of the night with my sleeping bag unzipped and her hand on my crotch and mine on her ass as she was kissing my neck. I was instantly awake and recoiled, got out of the tent, and sat by the fire for the rest of the night. The 2 guys were passed out drunk. They had more than Taylor and I, so they had no idea what had happened. Taylor came out and tried to talk to me. I was terrified and in shock. She told me that I had been rubbing up on her and making her feel good, and then she turned around and tried to reciprocate. I asked her why, and she said she thought that's what I wanted. I didn't sleep that night and went home the next day and told my wife what happened. She blew up and accused me of cheating on her and that she was leaving me. I've tried calling her the past few days and she won't answer. She is staying with her sister. We haven't spoke since Saturday. She won't give me the time to explain what happened. What do I do? Thought number 1. Hey man, have you ever heard of getting other tents? That's where my brain goes. I'm not saying that there was malice on OP's part, but I think if you're married, you should do the safe thing, bring an extra tent, sleep by yourself or only with like another dude or whatever. Also, I think if you're sleeping next to somebody and you have a history of initiating sex while you're sleeping, I think it's kind of important to explain to the people you're sleeping next to, hey, by the way, this is something I do. If I start doing it, shake me until I wake up. I don't know what the procedure is there, but I think if you're sleeping next to somebody, as much as that's a very uncomfortable conversation to have, you should let them know. Okay, so that's number 1 and maybe number 2. My number 3 on this, I have camped with them all on numerous occasions in the same sleeping arrangement and nothing has ever happened before. What does your wife think of that? Because low-key chat, if OP's wife knows that he sleeps next to this girl, I think she needs to understand that this was unintentional. Seeing from OP's perspective, I think like as long as his wife knew that this was the sleeping arrangement, she should understand, oh yeah, he's done that with me and it's not a voluntary thing. Odds are it could potentially happen, which once again goes around to, okay, well, if you're gonna do that, let the people fucking know. Oh shit, I didn't even realize there's an edit for clarity underneath the TLDR. I apologize. I thought this was part of the TLDR. Though we had been drinking, I was by no means drunk. This isn't a I blacked out and then came to while I was on top of her kind of thing. It was not a means to cheat on my wife with Taylor. I do not find Taylor attractive at all. We have camped together 20 plus times and this has never happened before. I honestly had no idea what was happening until I woke up. I genuinely think if everything OP is saying is true, the wife is overreacting here. Hold on. Whoa, wait, what's happening? Hold on. This is crazy, y'all. Why don't you guys believe him? We don't have his diagnosis, so why should we assume it's real? Because he said it's real up here. Who knows? He could be lying, but I'm operating under we have been given specific information in this story. We know that sexsomnia is a real thing. We did the research in this in a previous video. It is a thing that other people experience. There's actually somebody in chat who has actually experienced it, okay? This is totally something that happens. All I'm saying is he slept next to a woman knowing he has sexsomnia. I want to know if his wife also knew that he was potentially sleeping next to a woman while having sexsomnia. Because if she knows that, I think it is also not fully her responsibility. It's mainly OP's responsibility, but I think it is a little bit your responsibility to be like, hey, you do this thing where you wake up and have sex with people. Who's to say that it won't happen with other people? Maybe we need to find a solution here. Honestly, I do think OP's a little bit of the a-hole for not letting people know that he has sexsomnia who he's planning on sleeping next to. I think that's a huge a-hole move. I would never sleep next to somebody if they didn't know that that was something that I would do, because that could be an extreme violation of somebody's boundaries. She didn't know about his condition, but she knew he was married. If anybody's like truly the a-hole here, it's Taylor. As long as OP's telling us the truth, I don't think OP's he's the a-hole here. Could he have taken better precautions? Yes, but also it wasn't intentional. Like, I will say it's a little unfair that Taylor found herself in this situation. She should have known beforehand that this is something that happens to him. Ruben, it's the lack of foresight. Agreed. I think, and maybe I'm wrong for this, foresight also includes the wife. The wife also knew that this was a thing. Even if he had done this to like a guy, like let's say the story goes a different way and he's only sleeping next to guys and he starts like initiating something with them. The foresight of like, hey, you're sleeping next to other people, you should let them know that you do this is so important. And like the wife knows that. Guys, I'm not like saying that this is like 100% her responsibility. What I'm saying is, as husband and wife, you guys are going through life together. Don't you think that like, hey, husband, you are going on a camping trip with other people and you are going to be sleeping next to them as like a unit, as a married couple, and especially knowing that there's a woman there, we should have the foresight to take precautions since you do this. I don't know if blame is the right way to put it, but I do want to say, I think it is your responsibility in a relationship to handle your guys' problems together. The wife shouldn't be his mother and tell him what to do before camping. OP should know what he should and shouldn't do in his condition. It's just disrespecting. I'm all for guys not treating their wives like his mother, but this is sex we're talking about, and sex does not involve a mother. Sex involves two people in a relationship together, ideally not a mother. Honestly, guys, it's boundaries. Like, okay, let's say OP didn't have sexsomnia. Him and his wife are talking through like, hey, I'm going on this camping trip and there's going to be a girl there. You are going to talk about the boundaries required for you to feel comfortable with your partner going on a trip with somebody of the opposite gender. And that might be sleeping in a different tent, calling me before you go to bed, no getting blackout drunk, etc., etc., etc. I think the sexsomnia weaves into that conversation that you would have, because it's like, okay, this just adds another layer that, yes, isn't in a normal relationship, but it is very important. And once again, guys, I'm operating under the assumption that the wife knew that they were sleeping in the same tent next to each other, and now it's upsetting her. Like, clearly that's something that they should have addressed in their relationship. Why are we assuming that? What do you mean? Why are we assuming that? It's a Reddit story. To me, it's honestly more crazy that he's doing this without having the conversation, but maybe he hasn't. And you know what? If that's the case, then yeah, I totally agree. I'm kind of like really looking at what Tabby's saying here, because Tabby actually has this. Yeah, I wonder how much he was informed on this. I know sexsomnia can affect anyone. Your sleep state does not care who or what, but does his wife know that? Oh, okay. That's a good point. Does the wife know that this isn't just like a, hey, this happens with you because I sleep in the same bed with you? Many people aren't even aware of sexsomnia was a thing until a couple live streams back, LOL. Wonder how much he's informed of his own condition. It's a good point. In my head, this is similar to pissing the bed. Like, yeah, it's an accident, but if you're doing it enough to know you have a habit and it's affecting the people you're sleeping next to, it's your job. Honestly, I kind of like that comparison a lot. He tried sleeping with the only woman rather than the two guys. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance. He had a girl on one side, a guy on the other. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is hella convenient. I'm not going to argue with that. But if he has a history of this, he's responsible for his actions. If you guys want to bring that up, there's actually a case of a guy murdering his wife while he was sleepwalking, and the courts decided he was not guilty. Do we say that that guy is responsible for his actions? I'm genuinely just bringing this up because, like, personally, if he truly was going through sexsomnia in that moment, I don't agree with that. Sure, he's responsible for the actions leading up to it, but the actual act of doing it was not intentional. I think intentionality is super important there. No, because did he prepare a murder kit before sleeping? No, but did he prepare to have sex with her before they were sleeping? Like, Echo, I'm not really seeing your point, because if he really truly, and who knows, maybe he's lying to us, but if he truly had wanted to cheat, he wouldn't have had the reaction that he had. There are a couple of relevant comments here. One commenter asked, on the list of really dumb decisions, sleeping next to a female friend on a camping trip without your wife when you're a known sleep fucker ranks right up there. Seriously, dude, seriously. Did your wife even know this female friend was going and that you'd be sharing a tent? OOP, yes, she knew she would be there and thought nothing of it. This group has gone camping together 20 plus times over the years, slept in the same way, and nothing has ever happened because there is absolutely no attraction to Taylor, none at all. I do not find her physically attractive, and I look at her as a sister. I can't stress that enough. She does not appeal to me in the slightest. As for the sleep fucking, it had never been an issue before on these trips when more alcohol was involved, so the idea of it possibly happening has never crossed my mind. The sleep fucking itself hasn't happened in close to a year, so I figured I was past it. Well, that's really fucking stupid of OP. I mean, I guess it wasn't clarified, but she knew that this woman would be there. Did she know that you were sleeping next to her, though? Someone replied saying, bullshit, maybe you weren't into her, but she was definitely into you. She was awake, knew what was happening, and reciprocated. So you can't pretend like there's no underlying danger in this camping trip. Obviously, this woman has feelings for you if she was willing to help you cheat on your wife. She said she thought you wanted it. How exactly did she get that idea? Because he was groping her in his sleep? I kind of understand, like, okay, how do you act with this woman outside of just camping? But also, she said she thought you wanted it. Yeah, I mean, that's usually what happens when someone like grabs your butt or something like that. You should not be spending time with Taylor ever again. That's step one, and you need to make that clear to both her and your wife. Then flip the situation. Let's say your wife was a sleep fucker. She went on a camping trip, drank, and woke up finding herself astride a guy's dick. The guy was happily fucking her. What would you be thinking right now? OOP, the first thing I said to Taylor was, what the fuck are you doing after I woke up? I had no idea that she had any feelings towards me at all. After we talked for maybe a minute, I told her to leave me alone and she went back to the tent until the morning. I haven't spoken to her since. I will not speak to her again. That friendship is over. I don't know, guys. I think it really does come back around to, like, if you know you have sexsomnia, take precautions. Update October 9th, 2014, 2 days later. Before I get into the update, there are some things I want to say. For those of you who accused me of cheating on my wife deliberately and attempting to R-word Taylor, you guys are just dicks. I did not grope Taylor on purpose and I did not know that it would happen. I was not aware of what was going on and I had no control over what I was doing at that point in time. I would never grope or touch anyone without their consent. I don't think you understand how terrifying it is to wake up with someone who isn't your wife, grabbing your crotch and having no idea what is going on. Couple that with fear and confusion with the immense guilt I had because I was the one who apparently initiated it, it made me want to fucking die. So thanks for that, people. I really appreciate it. To those who actually had helpful advice and actually tried to put themselves in my shoes, thank you very much. Here's the update. I spoke with my doctor and he says it sounds like I do have sexsomnia, but he is not too familiar with it. As far as he knows, there's no real cure and there isn't really a treatment for it. But he said he was going to refer me to a psychiatrist/psychologist and they would help me. He told me they might try me on some antidepressants to attempt to curb it from happening again. I found a blog about sexsomnia that actually really helped me better understand what I have and how to deal with it. The guy does a really good job of explaining the guilt and all the emotions I felt after all of this happened. I managed to talk to my wife and things are good now. She wasn't contacting me because she needed time to herself and space to sort it all out in her head. She didn't want to say anything else that she would regret later and she felt bad for her initial reaction. She knows me, she trusts me, and we have a great relationship. This is the first hiccup I can ever remember us having in the 9+ years that we've been together. After I told her what happened, she went to the darkest possible timeline and thought the worst. I can't blame her for her initial reaction because one of the biggest deal breakers for either of us is infidelity. She came home the night I posted the original thread and I apologized up and down about putting myself in that spot to begin with, but she actually put me at ease and said that she didn't blame me for it because she, too, never thought that my sleep sexing would be an issue. She read up on sexsomnia while at her sister's and realized I wasn't trying to cheat on her. I was not in control of my body at the time. I stopped the moment I became lucid and I immediately let her know what happened. The biggest problem from this whole thing was the fact that we never took my sexsomnia as something that was serious. When it would happen, we just assumed it was because of a sexy dream I was having and thought of the whole thing as something quirky that I did every once in a while, not an actual sleep disorder that could have serious risks associated with it. So for those who said I was a known sleep fucker, well, no, it wasn't known. We just thought it was something weird I did every once in a while. Tell me I'm making excuses all you want. Tell me I'm a piece of shit for putting people at risk. Tell me that I'm deflecting blame. I really don't care. It's like having diabetes without knowing it and then getting sick when you eat a candy bar. Yeah, hindsight shows that there was an issue when you were peeing all the time and you were losing weight and you were constantly tired, but if you aren't aware of diabetes, you don't actively think you have diabetes. My wife and I were both ignorant of the entire condition. The idea that I could do it to someone other than my wife had never crossed either of our minds because it happened so rarely and we didn't know it was anything legitimate. If either one of us believed that it was an actual risk, I would not have been in a tent with anyone. Now we obviously know better, live and learn. Okay, so maybe we were kind of reading in too much into his knowledge of this, which, okay. How old is this guy again? This dude is 2 years older than me, and I just learned about sexsomnia. Granted, I've never experienced it, and like, I don't know how I would have reacted if I didn't know that it was a thing and it happened to me. I don't know, guys. I think I would maybe actually do what OP did. Like, if I didn't even know that it was a possibility, like, I probably would just brush it aside. And even the wife, bro, like, now it's like, okay, so this has never been something that they've ever talked about really in depth in their relationship. Like, then as much as like, damn, maybe we can't really put the blame on OP's shoulders. Like, also same with the wife. The wife in no way, shape or form could have seen this coming if OP didn't even really see this coming. I do really care about what you guys are saying. Like, genuinely, I know we are disagreeing in here a lot, but just know, like, I really do care about what you guys have to say. And I do really appreciate y'all challenging me. Never feel like you can't talk your shit in here. Yeah, it took me a while for me to take what was happening to me seriously, but now I'm trying to help people take anything with sleep seriously. seriously. Tabby, you've helped us immensely, bro. Until like 10 streams ago, I had no fucking clue this was a thing. I mean, even in that story, I was ready to fucking accuse that guy of the R word. And then Tabby came in and was like, hey, this is actually kind of a normal thing. We were all like, oh shit. One of the biggest reasons I got shit in the last thread was because I had the audacity to sleep in a tent with a woman. My wife knew of the sleeping arrangements and was completely fine with it. Like I said in the last thread, we had camped that way many times and it had never been an issue before this past weekend. However, there was a separate incident on another camping trip that I was not previously aware of. It turns out that I had apparently started caressing one of my buddies on an earlier trip and he didn't tell me. Oh, that must have been very confusing for him. He told me that when I did it, he elbowed me in the gut and then I rolled over and went to sleep. I had no idea that it happened and he never mentioned it before because he thought I was just trying to fuck with him. So it seems like my sexsomnia doesn't discriminate. For those who said I was stupid for sleeping next to a woman, that is not the case. I was stupid for sleeping next to anyone who is not my wife. I will never put myself in that situation again. Listen, bro, I respect the level of trust in your relationship 100%. If I ever go on a camping trip with my friends and there's a girl there, there's no way I'm sleeping next to her. Not because I don't trust myself or anything like that. Like, I would never fucking do anything, but for the sake of like putting my wife at ease or my girlfriend or my fiance, whatever that is, I would just much rather like, fuck it, bro. I'd sleep outside before I slept next to someone, you know, unless it was life or death. All right, let me put that there. If it's life or death, sure. If we got to use body heat for warmth or something like that, fine. Hopefully that never happens during a camping trip. As for Taylor, I got a conversation going with her on Facebook. In it, I apologized for the incident and I went into some detail about why what happened. She said that she was already aware of the fact that I do stuff in my sleep because my wife had made jokes about it in the past. While I did apologize, I still told her that the way she handled it was inappropriate and that I will not be camping with her or associating with her any longer. I asked her if she had feelings for me and she said that she didn't think so, but she got lost in the moment. She took responsibility for her actions and admitted what she did was wrong. She was very understanding of the whole thing, was very remorseful, and agreed it was best to stay away. As far as friend breakups go, it was very mutual and mature. We both owned up to our mistakes and we are no longer associating with each other. It's for the best. My wife eventually read the conversation and it reinforced my version of the story and the series of events that I described to her. So that made her happy and reinforced that I wasn't lying. It sucks because she was one of our best friends, but anyone who is willing to cheat with me does not need to be in our lives. Some might say that that's not fair to her and that if I hadn't attempted to sleep sex her, then everything would be fine. I disagree. She was willing to go through with it when I was willing to go through with it. She obviously was feeling something I was not, and I don't need to associate with that. If I have learned anything from this incident, it's that I can't be surprised if a bomb goes off while I'm holding a flame to the fuse. Removing myself from her life is the best course of action for all parties involved. Taylor isn't my wife, so she is not my priority. Honestly, that whole interaction with Taylor, good move. Good moves all around. Having a mature conversation around it, deciding that the move is to not be friends anymore, and allowing the wife to read it so that the sequence of events does add up and the wife can be more trusting and more reassured. So all in all, things are all right. I am trying to move forward, as is my wife. Things are looking up. We haven't scheduled couples counseling or anything yet, but I have suggested it and am a willing participant if my wife wants to consider it down the road. She seems to be already pretty forgiving, so I think that we're good. I am seeing the psychiatrist/psychologist next week. So for those of you who actually helped and gave me constructive advice instead of attacking me, thank you. One commenter quoted the part about him caressing one of his buddies in an earlier camping trip and then said, "Oh goodness, I questioned this on your last post and was downvoted for some reason. I figured if you have sexsomnia, laying next to anyone could be a problem, not just a woman. So glad this all worked out. I thought you got a lot of unnecessary heat on your last post. I'm glad this has all been resolved and you guys are moving forward. OP, yeah, he told me he originally thought I was trying to make it seem like a spider or a rat or something was crawling up his back. He flinched, and when he saw it was just me, elbowed me, and I turned over. Apparently that's how it starts with my wife and how it started with Taylor too. I start lightly running my hand up her back like I'm teasing her. Then I start rubbing and it eventually leads to more direct petting/squeezing. Apparently my sleep foreplay is on point. Bro has better floor play while he's sleeping than some dudes do while they're fully conscious. Sorry, that might have been a bad joke, but I had to do it. A different commenter replied to that comment saying, "That's much nicer than what I do to my partner. I treat him like a horse. I'm not joking. I will cluck whilst trying to move him around the bed, wrap my legs around him and squeeze him to get him into a trot, ride him at a canter. I once even bit him hard because I read at some silly forum that you should bite a horse back to get it to stop biting. My husband would swap for your type of sleep disturbance in a hoofbeat." Oh my God, and their user is horse somniac. Nothing else to say about that story. I'm glad it wrapped up fine. I just want to say I appreciate all the conversation that we had on it. Even though we disagreed, I love that we can disagree and still like come together at the end. No matter who's right or wrong. For all we know, this story could be completely fucking fake. I'm just glad that we can have mature conversations around situations and practice having difficult conversations around tough situations. Appreciate y'all.